I want to start by telling you something that may feel like a soft sigh of relief. You don't need to try so hard to be loved. You don't need to perform or strive or change who you are just to be seen, accepted, or cherished. You don't need to become louder, thinner, more charming, more impressive, or more likable to deserve attention. That is an old belief system, and today we gently begin letting it go. Real attraction, the kind that makes someone stop and truly feel your presence, doesn't come from effort or pretense. It comes from inner alignment. It radiates from you when you feel safe within yourself. When you love and accept yourself deeply, you become magnetic in the most effortless way. You don't have to chase. You don't have to force. You don't have to sparkle unnaturally. You simply have to return to yourself. And that's what we're doing here, coming home to the natural, steady, beautiful light inside you. That light doesn't need to perform. It only needs to shine. Now, I know this isn't how the world has always treated you. Some of us learned that we had to earn love, that we had to be special enough or useful enough to be worthy. Some of us were ignored unless we were entertaining, or we were only praised when we achieved something impressive. But the truth is this: your presence is enough. Your being is enough. You are attractive simply because you exist. You are not trying to be liked. You are learning how to like yourself. You are not trying to be chosen. You are learning how to choose yourself. And the moment you stop chasing external validation is the moment you begin attracting authentic connection. Because the universe doesn't respond to your striving, it responds to your state of being. When you are calm, when you are grounded, when you know who you are, you become like a tuning fork resonating with every good thing that matches that frequency. This is the beginning of true magnetism, and it starts inside you. Let's talk about what silent magnetism really means. You may have heard this word energy used often, but it's not as mysterious as it sounds. Energy is simply the emotional atmosphere you carry, and that atmosphere can be felt without words. You don't have to say a single sentence to change the entire feeling in a room. You've felt this before. You've been near people who made you feel safe just by being around them. They didn't try to impress you. They didn't overwhelm you. They were simply present, and that presence was powerful. That is silent magnetism. It's the quiet power of someone who doesn't need to prove anything. Someone who radiates kindness, confidence, and peace, not because they say it, but because they are it. And the beautiful news is, you can become this kind of person too. Not by trying harder, but by softening into yourself. People are not drawn to perfection, they are drawn to presence. They are not magnetized by your resume, they are drawn to your energy. And you don't need to be loud or showy to be attractive. In fact, the most magnetic people are often the calmest ones in the room. Why? Because calm people feel safe. We are naturally drawn to whatever makes us feel grounded. And when you have done the work of soothing your inner child, of learning to accept yourself without judgment, of sitting with your emotions with compassion instead of resistance, you emit a frequency that says, "It's safe here." And that, my love, is what people truly want. They want to feel safe to be themselves. And when you provide that energy not as a mask, but as a natural overflow of your own inner safety, you become quietly irresistible. This doesn't mean you'll never feel anxious or messy again. This doesn't mean you need to become some perfect monk of serenity. No, not at all. It just means that you're learning to return to your center faster. You're learning to breathe through discomfort instead of panic. You're learning to witness your fears instead of fight them. And from that steady place, your presence deepens, your voice softens, your gaze calms, your entire nervous system begins to operate from peace, and others can feel it even before they understand it. That's the power of silent magnetism. You don't need to chase. You don't need to control. You don't need to convince anyone to love you. You only need to become deeply at peace with yourself. That's what the universe responds to. That's what people feel. And that's what you are becoming. Let's talk about one of the simplest yet most powerful habits of inner magnetism: calm, grounded eye contact. I'm not talking about staring intensely or trying to dominate a conversation with your gaze. That's not true presence. I'm talking about the kind of eye contact that says, without words, I see you and I'm not afraid to be seen. When you look someone in the eyes with steadiness, not performance, not fear, but presence, it creates a bridge of trust, a bridge of connection, a bridge of mutual grounding. And in that moment, your energy speaks louder than anything you could say. You might feel nervous at first. That's okay. Many of us were taught to hide, to look away, to shrink ourselves, to avoid taking up space. But here's what I want you to know. You have the right to take up space. You have the right to be seen. You have the right to look back. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be aggressive. You only need to be present. And when your eyes say, I am here, I am safe, I'm not performing, people feel it. They may not be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. That's how energy works. It bypasses logic and goes straight to the heart. So try this with love, not pressure. The next time you speak with someone, soften your gaze, relax your face, allow your eyes to be open and receptive. Say silently in your heart, it's safe to connect, and breathe. Breathe as you look at them, not in fear, not in hurry, but in peace. This is how you reclaim your right to presence gently, one gaze at a time. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. When you allow your eyes to express your calmness, your steadiness, your willingness to see and be seen, you start changing the emotional atmosphere around you. You become a mirror of presence, and people remember how they felt around you, long after they forget your words. If you've been afraid to hold eye contact, let me speak to that part of you, the part that's afraid of being judged, the part that feels small or ashamed. I want you to place your hand over your heart right now and say softly, it's safe to be seen. I am lovable as I am. This is how you heal. This is how you shift. This is how you attract love, not by changing who you are, but by becoming more deeply connected to your true self. Every time you look with love, you send that energy out into the world, and love always returns. Do you know what the second silent habit of attraction is? I'll give you a hint. It's not about impressing others, and it's not about always having the perfect thing to say. It's about creating space. Yes, deep, safe, loving space. And do you know how we create that kind of space? By listening. Not just hearing the words someone says, but truly listening with your heart, your body, your energy. Listening is presence. Listening is love in motion. And when you begin to practice the art of being fully present in a conversation without needing to dominate it, something miraculous happens. People soften around you. They open. They feel safe. Why? Because you're not trying to prove anything. You're not performing. You're just there, calm, loving, real. And in a world that's always shouting, silence becomes magnetic. The calm person in the room holds more power than the one trying to convince. And so I invite you to let go of the need to interrupt, the pressure to fix, the habit of jumping in. I invite you to become a calm, silent witness to the beauty in others. Your stillness is not passive, it is active, healing presence. And that presence makes people feel seen. That presence draws in respect, trust, admiration. You don't have to say more to be more. You can just be. You can just breathe and trust that your value is already being felt. Now, I want you to try something the next time you're in conversation. When you feel the urge to speak, just to fill the space, pause. When you feel discomfort in the silence, breathe through it. When you notice yourself rehearsing a reply, instead of truly hearing someone gently come back to the moment, this is how we rewire ourselves from approval seeking to true presence. And this is how we develop quiet, natural attraction. When you deeply listen, you're not only creating intimacy, you're also showing the universe that you are aligned with the frequency of love, patience, and self-trust. And the more you live on that frequency, the more effortlessly beautiful people, connections, and opportunities begin to flow to you. It's not magic, it's alignment. I choose to speak less and love more. I listen with presence. I radiate calm. Repeat that with me. I choose to speak less and love more. I listen with presence. I radiate calm. One more time. I choose to speak less and love more. I listen with presence. I radiate calm. Feel how that settles your nervous system. That's your natural magnetism returning home to you. Let me tell you something I've learned. Elegance is not about expensive clothes, the perfect posture, or following some rule book on how to behave. Elegance is energy. True elegance radiates from the way you sit with yourself, the way you move through the world with softness, the way you don't rush to defend or explain. It comes from the way you honor others without shrinking yourself. When you walk into a room and carry yourself with quiet self-trust, people notice. They may not know why they're drawn to you, but they are. Because you are safe, you are whole, you are rooted. Quiet elegance doesn't need to be flashy. It's the kind of beauty that leaves people feeling nourished. It's not loud confidence, it's calm assurance. And the best part? You don't have to try to create it. You already have it. Underneath the layers of stress, people-pleasing, comparison, and anxiety, there is a peaceful, powerful, graceful version of you waiting to take the lead. So how do you activate that version of yourself? Start with your body, the way you breathe, the way you sit, the way you place your hand over your heart when you need to soothe yourself, the way you pause before reacting. That's elegance. The way you say no with kindness, the way you smile with your eyes, not just your lips. That's elegance. The way you stay soft even when the world feels sharp, the way you hold your boundaries without anger. That's the kind of silent power that changes rooms. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't seek recognition. It simply is. And when you live from this space of quiet elegance, life begins to mirror that grace back to you. Conversations become kinder. Opportunities come without force. The right people recognize your value, not because you shouted it, but because you embodied it. I carry myself with grace. I honor myself and others. My presence is my power. Repeat that gently. I carry myself with grace. I honor myself and others. My presence is my power. You don't need to chase. You don't need to compete. You don't need to prove. You are already enough, just as you are when you walk with calm, quiet knowing. Sometimes people ask me, Louise, what makes someone truly attractive, even when they say nothing? And I always smile and say, it's their energy, not their clothes, not their voice, not their cleverness. It's the quiet vibration they carry in their presence. That silent hum you feel when they walk into a room. And it starts on the inside. That's where everything begins, not out there. Attraction is not something you do. It's something you radiate. And you can only radiate what you've cultivated inside. So today, I want to speak with you heart to heart about the power of mastering your inner energy. Because when you learn to stabilize the current within you, the outside world becomes much less important. You stop chasing attention. You stop overperforming. You stop dimming your light to fit in. You simply stand in your calm, and your calm becomes magnetic. Your energy is always broadcasting, even when you're silent, even when you're not trying, even when you're pretending everything's okay. Your energy is honest. That's why healing begins not with behavior, but with intention. When your thoughts are peaceful, when your emotions are honest, when your inner child feels safe inside you, your energy becomes irresistible. And I don't mean dramatic energy. I don't mean loud energy. I mean that quiet steadiness that says, I know who I am. I've made peace with myself. I don't need to prove anything to you. That kind of energy, that's what makes people turn toward you without even knowing why. You don't need to sell yourself. You just need to settle into yourself. Now I want you to try something. Just gently, right now, become aware of the space inside your body. Feel into your heart. Breathe into your chest. Notice if there's tightness or rushing thoughts. And now, I want you to speak gently to that space. Say, it's okay now. I am safe. I am allowed to rest inside myself. And watch what happens. Watch how your energy softens. Watch how your shoulders drop. Watch how your mind begins to clear. This is not imagination. This is energetic mastery. You are teaching your nervous system to trust you again. You are teaching your mind to follow your calm instead of your fear. And the more you practice this, the more attractive you become, not because of how you look, but because of how you make people feel around you. You become a place of peace for others. I have found, through decades of working with beautiful souls just like you, that when people stop trying to manipulate energy outside of themselves and instead begin to nurture energy within, everything changes. Relationships shift. Opportunities appear. You start to see more love, more respect, more support, because the energy you carry invites it. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So ask yourself, what energy am I rehearsing today? What emotion am I practicing? Is it resentment? Is it fear? Or is it love, compassion, trust? You are not powerless. You are powerful, but that power is quiet. That power is loving. That power is in your daily choices of thought and emotion. And every time you return to love, you raise your frequency. Every time you come back to compassion, you glow. Let's make a new commitment together. Let's decide, I will manage my energy before I manage anyone else. I will check in with my vibration before I check my reflection. I will tend to the space inside before I try to fix the world outside. And I promise you, this is where true beauty lives. In the unseen, in the unspoken, in the space between your breath and your next thought. You don't have to fix your life overnight. You don't have to do more, say more, or chase more. You just have to love yourself enough to slow down and soften your own energy. When you do, the universe notices, and so does everyone else. I want to ask you something. When was the last time you were fully here, not in the future, not in the past, not lost in loops of what if, but just here in your body in this moment? It's rare, isn't it? We've been trained to live in our heads, to worry ahead, to rehearse our regrets. But presence is magnetic. Presence is attractive. Presence is healing. And presence begins with a decision to come home to yourself again and again, no matter what's happening around you. Presence isn't about being perfect. It's about being available. It's about listening without interrupting. It's about walking without rushing. It's about eating without scrolling. It's about holding space for your own breath, your own emotions, your own life, without the need to escape. And when you do this, even for a few seconds, you send a message to the world. I am here. I am grounded. I am enough. And that message is beautiful. That message is powerful. That message pulls people toward you, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. People can feel when you're truly with them. They can feel when your heart is present, not just your body. They can feel when you're listening, not just waiting to speak. And the moment you drop into presence, truly drop in, the energy shifts, conversation softens, conflict dissolves, the world becomes gentler, you become gentler, and gentleness is irresistible. In a world of rushing, be the one who pauses. In a world of noise, be the one who listens. In a world of pretending, be the one who is real. That is presence. That is power. That is who you really are. You don't need to perform to be loved. You don't need to chase to be chosen. When you are fully present, you magnetize what is right for you and you repel what is not. You begin to notice synchronicities. You begin to feel safer inside your body. And you begin to live from a place of deep truth. So I want you to gently say to yourself now, I am allowed to be here. I don't have to be anywhere else. I don't have to become someone else. I am welcome in this moment. And as you say it, breathe deeply. Let your breath be your anchor. Let your heart come forward. Let yourself land in now. Not later, not someday. Now, your presence is your power. Your calm is your clarity. Your awareness is your gift. And every time you choose to come back to your body, back to your breath, back to this sacred moment, you reclaim a little more of your true self. No one else can give you this. No one else can take it away. You are the source of your presence. You are the source of your peace. And the more you practice being here, the more life shows up to meet you right here, right now, with open arms. Imagine a lake. When the surface is still, it reflects the sky, the trees, the stars. But when it's disturbed by storms or wind, everything becomes distorted. Emotional stability is just like that. It's the stillness within you that lets your true beauty reflect outward. You don't need to suppress your feelings. You don't need to pretend to be calm when you're not, but you can learn to return to your center, to return to your breath, to your body, to your truth. When you are emotionally grounded, you become magnetic, not because you are performing, but because you are at peace with yourself. People are drawn not to perfection, but to presence. And presence begins with regulation. It begins when you allow yourself to feel everything, but choose not to react from fear or panic. You can feel and still be still. You can ache and still remain soft. You can be vulnerable and still remain rooted. This is your silent strength. This is your deep power. It is not loud. It does not seek validation. It simply holds. And in a world that is noisy, rushed, reactive, your calmness becomes unforgettable. Your calmness is your magnetism. Your peace is your glow. The most attractive people are often the ones who don't need attention. They don't chase energy, they carry it. They don't seek control, they radiate trust. They don't dominate, they emanate softness. And that softness is not weakness. That softness is a decision. It is the quiet decision to stay rooted even when emotions swirl. It is the moment when you say, I choose peace even now. It is the practice of becoming the eye of the storm still, safe, centered. And this is something you can return to again and again. I am not what I feel in the moment. I am the one who chooses how to be. You are the lake, and you are allowed to be still. You are allowed to return to that stillness anytime you want. Let's take a deep breath right now. And I want you to gently affirm, I am emotionally safe. I am emotionally steady. I am emotionally strong. You don't have to say it loudly. Say it gently. Whisper it if you need to. Let the words wrap around your nervous system like a warm blanket, because every time you choose calmness over chaos, you change your vibration. Every time you pause instead of react, you increase your strength. And every time you breathe instead of break, you build your inner temple. And yes, there will be moments where you feel shaky. That's okay. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to come back home to yourself more quickly each time. Your inner stability becomes your external glow, and the more you practice, the easier it becomes. When your emotions feel big, give them space. Let them move, but don't let them take over the driver's seat. Hold space for yourself like a loving parent, not a harsh judge. Remember, you are not broken. You are becoming. And every moment of calm you choose is a brick in the foundation of your quiet beauty. Your breath is the most faithful companion you've ever had. It's been with you since the moment you arrived. It will be with you until your last day. And yet we forget it. We rush past it. We override it with thoughts and noise and stress. But the breath is where your magnetism begins. Because when your breathing slows, your energy expands. When your breathing deepens, your presence arrives. When your breathing stabilizes, your nervous system says, I am safe. I often say, the universe is always listening. But the truth is, your body is always listening too. When you take shallow, tight, rushed breaths, your body thinks something is wrong. But when you inhale deeply into your belly and exhale with a sigh, you're telling your system, we're okay, we're safe now. This one habit, conscious breathing, has the power to shift your entire vibration. And it requires no money, no effort, no approval, just awareness, just intention, just you and your breath. And when you learn to breathe as if peace is already yours, you begin to become the peace. When your breathing is grounded, people feel it. They may not know why they feel calmer around you. They may not be able to explain your presence, but they will feel safe. And that safety is the foundation of true attraction. Let's do it now, just for a few seconds. Gently place your hand on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose. Feel your belly expand. Hold it for a moment. Now exhale gently through your mouth. Feel your body soften. That's all. No force, no perfection, just softness, just awareness. You can do this anytime, before you speak, before you enter a room, before you say yes or no, before you answer that message. Return to your breath. My breath anchors me in peace. My breath connects me to the present. My breath reminds me I am safe. You see, the world doesn't need more tension. It needs more people who can walk into a space and make it softer. More people who can be still when others panic. More people who bring calmness without having to say a word. And this begins with breath. This begins with you. The breath is your reset. It is your sanctuary. It is your home. And the more you breathe consciously, the more grounded, magnetic, and powerful you become. So from now on, let your breath be your foundation. Not your thoughts, not your fears, not your past. Just this breath, this moment, this choice. You don't need to perform. You don't need to push. You just need to breathe and be. You are enough when you breathe. You are radiant when you're calm. You are attractive when you are anchored. Return to that truth again and again, and you will see how everything begins to change, not because you chase it, but because you become it. Focused attention, the eighth habit of silent attraction. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Let's talk about the power of your attention, because your attention is the most magnetic force you have. It's not your appearance, it's not your clever words, it's not even how you carry yourself on the outside. The deepest kind of attraction begins when someone feels seen, not watched, not judged, but truly seen. And this starts with your ability to give the present moment your full attention, not divided, not halfway, but fully here. Focused attention is a silent gift. You don't wrap it in ribbons or noise. You wrap it in presence. You wrap it in calm. You wrap it in a sense of, I am with you. When you are present, when your mind is not racing somewhere else, people feel safe. And that safety, that's magnetism. That's what people can't explain, but they feel it. It's not about performance, it's about presence. You see, when your attention is scattered, when you're thinking of what to say next, or who just texted you, or whether you're doing it right, the person in front of you can feel that even if they don't say it, they feel it. Energy never lies. And so much of what we call charisma or charm is really just focused energy. You're not chasing approval. You're being here, right now. You're not looking over someone's shoulder for someone more important. You're not rehearsing a response in your head. You're listening with your heart. You're watching with soft eyes. You're breathing in their words without needing to fix them. That's what makes people lean in. That's what draws people toward you. Not volume, not sparkle, but attention. Steady, soft, sacred attention. I want you to understand something very important, and I say this with so much love. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your relationships. If your attention is shallow, your connection will be shallow. If your attention is warm, your connection will feel like sunlight. And when your attention is fully focused, even for just a moment, you create something that cannot be bought presence. Presence is the most precious gift you can offer another soul. And when you offer it freely, you become unforgettable. Not because you impressed them, but because you felt like home. When people say, I don't know what it is about you, this is often what they're feeling. It's your steadiness, your slowness, your willingness to be instead of perform. Now I want you to take a breath with me, a deep, quiet breath. Feel your feet, feel your breath, feel this moment. Nothing else is required of you, not right now. The habit of focused attention begins here with simple awareness. Every time your mind wanders, you gently bring it back, not harshly, not with guilt, but with love. Oh, I see my mind drifted. That's okay. Come back, sweetheart. Come back to now. And you will begin to notice something remarkable. People soften around you. Situations calm. Conversations go deeper. Because your presence is healing. Your attention is magnetic. And I want to remind you, you are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to listen more than you speak. You are allowed to hold space. You are allowed to say nothing and still be powerful. Attraction does not come from noise. It comes from depth. And your attention is the doorway to depth. The deeper your attention, the deeper your impact. The more grounded your energy, the more others will feel drawn to you without knowing why. This is the silent language of trust, and trust is the foundation of every true connection. So here is your gentle practice, my dear. The next time someone is speaking to you, try being fully there, just for 10 seconds, just for one breath. Drop the story in your head. Drop the need to be right. Drop the effort to be impressive, and instead, just see them. Be with them. Let your attention be a blanket of calm. Let your eyes say, "You matter. I am not in a hurry. I am here with you." And feel what happens in that space. This is how we draw in the world, not through striving, but through serenity. Silent attention is magnetic. And as always, let's end this part with gentle affirmations to help anchor this truth into your being. You may say them with me if you wish, or simply receive their energy. I am fully present. I am fully here. I give my attention with love. I listen with my heart. I trust the power of my presence. I draw beautiful energy toward me simply by being here. I do not need to perform to be magnetic. I do not need to impress to be lovable. I do not need to chase to be chosen. I am enough right now, just as I am. I am a calm and loving presence in the world. One more breath, one more moment of stillness. Let this truth settle in. You don't need to try harder. You need only to return. Return to this moment. Return to your breath. Return to your peace. And the world, sweet soul, will come to meet you there. This habit was one of the hardest for me to develop, and I know I'm not alone in this. Mental stillness, the ability to truly stay here, in this moment, without wandering into the past or jumping ahead into the future, is a lifelong practice. And I want to tell you something very honestly. I didn't master this overnight. There were times when I would sit with someone, nodding politely, but my mind was miles away replaying an old conversation, worrying about next week, or just scrolling through stories that weren't happening. I thought I was present, but I wasn't here. I was physically in the room, yes, but my energy was somewhere else. Presence isn't about being in the room. Presence is about being in your body, being with your breath, being with the person in front of you. And more than that, presence is about being with yourself, without judgment, without running away, without rushing to what's next. When you learn to stay, really stay, you begin to radiate the kind of energy that says, I am not in a hurry. I am not trying to escape. I am safe in this moment, and so are you. That energy is rare. That energy is magnetic. That energy is peace. We live in a world that rewards constant mental stimulation. Our minds are trained to jump from one thing to the next. Check this message, think about that deadline, scroll through that feed. But silence, inner stillness, that's where true beauty lives. That's where true self-trust grows. You don't need more answers. You don't need to fix the future. You don't need to repair the past. You only need to stop, breathe, and stay. Stay with the sound of your breath. Stay with the feeling in your body. Stay with the conversation, with the breeze on your skin, with the silence between words. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is full. It is full of presence, full of power, full of knowing. When you stop trying to say something smart and instead just be with someone, you give them the gift of your presence. And that, my dear, is one of the rarest gifts in this world. Your mind does not have to be your master. You can train it. You can teach it to soften, to stay, to stop fighting. The next time you catch yourself drifting off, gently come back, not with punishment, with love. Say to yourself, "Come back, sweetheart. You're safe here." Say it often. Say it kindly. Over time, you'll begin to notice something beautiful. People will start to feel safe around you. Not because you're saying the perfect words, not because you're impressing them, but because you're with them, truly, fully with them. This is silent attraction at its deepest level. So let's practice this now. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it fill your body. And now exhale gently, like a sigh. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Let your hands unclench. Let your thoughts slow down, like leaves floating in a stream. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to stop them. Just let them drift. And stay here, right here. This moment is enough. You are enough. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, and that is beautiful. Affirm with me now. I am safe in this moment. I return to now. I stay with myself, and that is enough. Again, I am safe in this moment. I return to now. I stay with myself, and that is enough. One more time, for the deep parts of you that need to hear it. I am safe in this moment. I return to now. I stay with myself, and that is enough. This truly works, even if you've never tried it before. Holding just a little bit of mystery, not as a tactic, not as manipulation, but as a natural extension of your self-respect, can transform the way others perceive your energy. In a world where people rush to overshare, to explain, to post, to update, holding back just a little can feel like a breath of fresh air. You don't have to tell everything. You don't have to prove your openness by narrating your entire life. Sometimes, the most attractive thing you can do is pause, smile, and say nothing. Mystery is not about hiding. It's about honoring the sacred parts of yourself that deserve protection, not exposure. When you keep certain aspects of your journey just for you, you create a sense of depth. People can feel that. They lean in closer, not because you're trying to impress them, but because they sense that you are someone who carries your inner world with grace. You are not a glass box. You are not obligated to be available, visible, or explainable at all times. The energy of "I trust myself enough not to need validation" is powerful, and it shows. There's a kind of elegance in being able to sit with someone and not fill every silence. There's confidence in knowing that you can simply smile, listen, and allow the moment to breathe without the urgency to overshare or overprove. You are allowed to be known slowly. You are allowed to keep certain dreams, struggles, or memories sacred. You are allowed to let people earn the privilege of your story, because your story is a privilege. And when you stop giving it away freely to those who haven't earned your trust, you step into your power. Let's get honest here. Many of us were taught that withholding is rude or closed off. We were conditioned to believe that love equals full transparency, instant access, or complete emotional availability. But that's not always true. Love can also look like discernment. Love can sound like, I'm not ready to share this right now, but I appreciate you asking. Or, there's more to that story, and maybe I'll share it when I feel safe. That is not rejection. That is emotional intelligence. Holding back is not about secrecy. It's about spiritual hygiene. It's a way of saying to yourself, I matter. My inner life is not a performance. It's a temple. And temples aren't open 24/7 to anyone who wanders in. They are visited with reverence, with timing, with care. You see, part of silent attraction is this. You don't hand people your worth in the first 5 minutes. You let your energy speak. You let your inner clarity do the talking. You don't need to say everything to be seen. You don't need to explain your trauma, your past, or your heart's every ache just to be worthy of attention. You are already worthy, and sometimes the most powerful people in the room are the ones who say the least. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they understand the value of silence, because they know the weight of their words, and because they've made peace with being misunderstood. You are magnetic not because of what you say, but because of what you know within yourself. You walk into a room and people feel something, and they might not be able to name it, but it's there. It's presence. It's peace. It's that sacred stillness you've cultivated from within. And a part of it, yes, is your willingness to not overshare, not explain, not unravel yourself too quickly. You trust that if they're meant to see your heart, they'll wait. And if they don't, that's not your person. You don't chase understanding. You don't chase acceptance. You don't chase closeness because you already feel close to yourself. Let's affirm this together. I do not need to explain everything. I do not owe my story to everyone. I am allowed to be a beautiful mystery. Again, I do not need to explain everything. I do not owe my story to everyone. I am allowed to be a beautiful mystery. One more time. I carry myself with quiet confidence. I protect my peace. I allow people to know me slowly. And remember, true intimacy is not created by spilling everything. It is created by choosing what to share, when to share it, and why. The power is not in the quantity, it's in the consciousness. Be selective, be spacious, be gentle with your heart. Let it open like a flower, not forced, not rushed, not demanded, but unfolding naturally when the sun is right and the air is safe and the ground is soft. You don't have to rush your blooming. You don't have to explain your roots. You are allowed to just be. If you've made it this far, don't skip this part. There is a kind of beauty that comes from within. It's not about how you look. It's about how deeply you understand, how open your heart is, how willing you are to embrace a world that looks different from you, sounds different from you, and thinks differently than you've ever known. I want to talk to you about one of the most silently magnetic traits I've ever discovered. Something that makes people pause and say, there's something about them, and that something is depth. And that depth, dear one, often grows from curiosity, from a willingness to say, tell me more, from a soft humility that says, I don't know everything, but I'm open to learning. People who are curious, who are kind, who care to understand, they glow. They glow with something that no makeup, no perfect words, no confidence trick can create. I believe every time you learn about another culture, another belief, another tradition, you expand your capacity to love. You deepen your presence. You grow roots in compassion. It doesn't matter if you've traveled the world or never left your hometown. What matters is your attitude. Are you open? Are you respectful? Are you present when someone speaks from their lived experience, even if it's different from yours? That is cultural intelligence. And it is so attractive because when someone feels seen without being judged, they soften. They trust you more. And in that trust, connection is born. Do you see? Cultural intelligence is not just about knowledge, it's about reverence. It's about honoring someone's story without trying to rewrite it. When I was younger, I used to believe that wisdom came from books, and it does to some extent. But over the years, I discovered that the deepest wisdom often comes from sitting across someone whose background is nothing like yours and choosing to listen. Listening without interrupting. Listening without needing to fix or argue, just listening as an act of respect. That, my dear, is healing. Because when we listen, we open the heart. And when the heart opens, the soul speaks. Some of the most beautiful connections I've experienced in my life were with people whose language, customs, or skin color were different from mine. But in their eyes I saw love. I saw God. I saw our shared humanity. You do not need to agree with everything to be compassionate. You do not need to understand every nuance to be respectful. You only need the willingness to stay open. That willingness sends a signal not just to others, but to life itself. It says, I am ready to grow. I am ready to see with new eyes. And when you send that signal, life responds. New people show up. New ideas awaken. New perspectives pour in like sunlight through a freshly opened window. You begin to see the world not as black and white, but as a rich tapestry of color, texture, emotion, and story. And you become someone others naturally want to be around because you radiate inclusion, not judgment, openness, not fear, wisdom, not ego. Let me say this clearly. True magnetism comes from being safe to be around, safe for someone to be who they are without shrinking, safe for someone to speak their truth without being silenced, safe to explore life without having to prove they belong. If you are someone who can offer that not just to people who look like you, or think like you, or vote like you, but to anyone who comes into your space, then you are the rarest kind of beautiful. You are a lighthouse, and you don't need to announce it. You don't need to broadcast your depth. It shows. It shows in your silence. It shows in your kindness. It shows in the way people breathe easier around you. I love learning from people who see the world differently than I do. It stretches me. It humbles me. It reminds me how vast this world is and how sacred it is to be a student of life. You see, when you stop assuming you already know, you make space for miracles. When you stop needing to be right, you become wise. And when you let your curiosity lead the way, without superiority, without fear, you blossom into someone whose energy feels like an embrace. You don't need to be flashy to be felt. You don't need to be loud to be heard. Your quiet understanding is powerful. Your open mind is magnetic. Your kind eyes are healing. So I invite you now to ask yourself gently, where can I open more? Whose story have I dismissed because it challenged mine? What part of the world have I misunderstood because I never looked closer? This is not about guilt or shame. This is about evolution, expansion. It's about becoming someone whose love extends beyond borders, whose presence holds space for difference, and whose spirit says again and again, I am willing to learn. Let's make it practical now. You don't need to book a flight. You don't need to memorize world religions. You just need to start where you are. Maybe it's choosing to ask questions rather than assume. Maybe it's picking up a book by someone from a different background. Maybe it's catching your own bias in the moment and saying, I can do better. Maybe it's simply listening, really listening to the people around you. Every small act of openness creates ripple effect. Every moment of curiosity builds bridges. Every effort to understand is an offering to love. And the beautiful surprise is, the more open you become, the more magnetic you feel. The more inclusive your heart, the more people are drawn to you. Not because you tried to be attractive, but because you became safe. And safety is irresistible. You see, cultural intelligence isn't about being politically correct. It's about being emotionally intelligent. It's about tuning into what someone else may carry and choosing to honor it without needing to fix it. That takes grace. That takes maturity. That takes a quiet kind of power. You become the person who doesn't just walk into a room, you shift the room, not with force, not with charm, but with quiet reverence, with grounded energy, with your deep listening heart. And that, dear one, is silent attraction. That is the magnetism that can't be faked, forced, or forgotten. That is the you the world is waiting for. So keep expanding, keep softening, keep listening, keep becoming someone who embraces the whole human experience, not just the familiar parts. Affirm with me now, I honor all cultures. I honor all people. I honor the shared humanity in every face. I open my heart to perspectives beyond my own. I let love lead me into deeper understanding. I let kindness guide my curiosity. I become the safe space others feel seen in. I am the open door. I am the soft landing. I am the living bridge. We've talked about so many beautiful things already, haven't we? But this next habit is the one people feel without even realizing it. I call it quiet spatial confidence. It's the kind of energy that walks into a room and doesn't have to do anything loud or flashy, and yet the space begins to shift around it. Have you ever noticed someone who seemed to take up just the right amount of space? Not too little, not too much. They didn't dominate and they didn't shrink. They just existed with grace. That's the energy we're calling in now. You see, there's a version of attractiveness that doesn't come from your appearance, your voice, or your style. It comes from the way you allow yourself to be in a space. I don't mean standing tall to impress. I mean simply being present, grounded, whole. I've always said, when you truly love yourself, you stop apologizing for your presence. And that's exactly what this habit teaches you to do. Not to boast, not to disappear, but to embody quiet self-acceptance so fully that others instinctively respect the space you hold. When you walk into a room with quiet confidence, you're not asking for permission. You're also not trying to prove anything. You're not shrinking to make others comfortable. You're not expanding to demand approval. You are simply rooted, just like a tree, just like the earth. I am enough, not as a performance, but as a frequency. You feel it, others feel it. You let your presence speak for you. And here's something tender. If you've spent years shrinking yourself, over-apologizing, or second-guessing your right to be here, I want to say this to you with all my heart. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to breathe deeply, to move slowly, to rest your shoulders and speak calmly, to be seen without fear. This world needs more people who are not trying to overpower, but who simply are calm, present, gentle, stable. That is true attraction. Now let's practice a little. I want you to imagine walking into a room right now. You're not worried about who's looking. You're not comparing yourself to anyone. You're not calculating how to be liked. You're just here. Your feet are planted. Your breath is steady. Your eyes are soft. Your chest is open. Your body trusts you. And that trust, that's the energy the room picks up. That's how you attract peace, opportunity, and meaningful connection. This habit, this presence, is not something you put on. It's something you remember. You remember that you are loved. You remember that you belong. You remember that you don't have to prove anything. So the next time you enter a room, don't ask yourself, how can I impress them? Instead, ask this, how can I be more at home in myself? Because when you're at home in yourself, the world will feel it too. Now that we've walked through all 12 habits together, gently, slowly, lovingly, I want to remind you, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to perfect these overnight. You don't have to be anyone else. This is not about performance. It's about returning to the deep, calm, magnetic version of you that has always been there. You are already enough. You are already worthy. And the more you believe this, the more others will feel it. Let's anchor everything with affirmations, not just as words, but as invitations. Breathe with me, softly, slowly, just as you are. No rush. Let's affirm together. I am peaceful and grounded in every space I enter. My presence is enough. I do not chase attention. I attract with ease. I am safe to take up space. The more I trust myself, the more others feel drawn to me. I radiate quiet confidence and inner beauty. Feel those words settle in. Let them become part of your emotional vocabulary. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you shift the way others see you, because the frequency of attraction always starts on the inside. You've learned today that true magnetism is never about tricks. It's not about getting people to look at you. It's about being so rooted in your peace that others feel safer in your presence. You've learned that soft eye contact speaks louder than words, that silence can hold more charm than the loudest voice, that breath, presence, and stillness are attractive not because they demand attention, but because they emanate stability, clarity, and grace. These are the habits that change how you move through the world and how the world moves toward you. So now I want to leave you with this gentle encouragement. You don't have to rush. You don't have to get this all right. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're right on time. Every time you return to yourself, every time you choose to be present rather than perform, you are becoming more of who you were always meant to be. And if there's one thing I know for sure, it's this: life loves you. Life wants you to be magnetic, not by trying harder, but by trusting more, not by pushing, but by allowing. And the more you do, the more beauty you'll see drawn into your life naturally, effortlessly, and silently. We've reached the end of this journey together, but really, it's the beginning of a new way of being. So take these habits into your day. Let them live inside your breath, your pace, your posture, your presence. And if you feel ready to affirm this shift, say this with me now, or say it softly inside your heart. I am silently attractive. I radiate peace. I magnetize everything I need by being exactly who I am. You don't need to rush to apply it all today. Let it grow gently inside you, like a flower in the sunlight, and trust that as you return to yourself, the right people will return to you.